This is my review of Carl Weber's The Family Business Season 4, Episode number 7, titled Vengeance is Mine. The scene opens with Chippy quarterbacking all the plays on which moves to make because LC and the twins are missing in action. They didn't make it home from Fresh Meadows last night, nor are they answering their phones, and Chippy knows at this point that something is terribly wrong. And in the meantime, old Crunch Munchin' Curtis he got Nefertiti hemmed up in the penthouse suite, moaning and a-groaning. And we learned here in this scene what actually went down with them 15 years ago and why he and Orlando will always be butting heads. Now, she went off to finishing school in Paris while Curtis, he stayed behind because Nene had cancer, so he couldn't just leave like that. So while all of this was happening, she slept with Orlando and she wants Curtis to get over it. Don't you just hate when somebody stabs you in the back and do something to you and then they move on and then they want to tell you how to get over it? Come on, girl, please. She got some nerve. She stabbed him in the back with his cousin, then trying to tell him how he should feel and when he should feel it. 15 years or 5 minutes, it don't matter. Pain is pain, no matter how long you've been carrying it. She's wrong for that, right? She's wrong for telling him how he should feel. So Nene gave him a call and she let him know what was going on at the house and that Rob was picking him up. And while he's on the phone, she's all on his ear, licking all over his face. Let's go to the next scene because he looks just like my ex-boyfriend. Real bad. So little Vincent, he's on the flight to UCLA while Daddy trying to push up on Ruby. Now, Orlando told her that her coming to the funeral with the Dashes was incredibly disrespectful. I just love how he said that. And clearly Orlando, he's still in love with Ruby, right? And here he told her that true love never goes away. And she told him that she's married and to just focus on their son. And I don't know why, but I'm just having a hard time believing Ruby. I think that she's really feeling Orlando. I mean, who wouldn't want Orlando? He's rich, he's powerful. They're all alone on his private jet. He's the father of her son. And besides, Vinny gonna be cutting up. He gonna mess up. He's gonna let us know that she's not his priority a little later on in this episode. And here we see that the Duncans are being watched, right? Somebody's taking pictures as they ride around looking for LC and the twins. And they finally pull up on the Bentley that's parked in the back of the church with the twins dead in the back seat. I just really hate that they're killing everybody off. Everybody's just dropping. He's not gonna have anybody left at the table, which is exactly what Larry wants. This was his plan all along. Also that he can start running Duncan Motors. And Harris sent Melanie, his oldest daughter, to pick up Mariah for his weekly visit with her. And Harris, he keeps trying London because he knows that sending Melanie is going to piss her off. It's like he's trying really hard to not make it any easier. I just don't know how he has a whole daughter and act like London's not going to, she's not supposed to have any reaction. She's supposed to just welcome her with open arms. Why even go there? And I'm sure that seeing Raven or Melanie or just hearing their names, it's like salt in her wounds, right? He's so insensitive. Now, while they were riding in the car to try to find LC and the twins, Junior really wants to tell Orlando about what's going on, but Chippy demands that he doesn't say a word to Orlando about squat. And we can see here that Junior is being really vulnerable. Even though he's a grown man, that doesn't mean that he's confident and strong, right? Let's just let it marinate for a moment. We can't forget that Junior, he just got promoted from head of Duncan security to handling the Italians. And let's be clear here. We all know that Junior is not the one who leads. It's usually Orlando or even LC. And now they're both gone. And he wants to call Orlando so that Orlando can tell him exactly what to do. Junior is without that strong leadership that Orlando and LC can give to him. So he has to do this alone. And it's frightening. It's frightening. He's scared out of his mind. And Chippy said that there's only one person who can fix this problem, and that's Harris. Now we're at the Hellfire Club where we see Consuela pouring on her charm yet again, and this time she got Juan tangled up in her web, and he's having a hard time picking out a girl for the evening, and he's having a hard time because he's still in love with Consuela. And here's yet another wayward woman who wants her partner or their love interest to just quote unquote get over it. Nefertiti wants Curtis to get over it. Consuelo wants Juan to get over it. And even Senior Cruz, he's trying to convince him to just have a good time. You know, look, we ain't got to worry about Senior Cruz. I mean, he's going to get his no matter what. Then here comes old non-snitching Sonia coming in to fake check on Donna. She noticed that Donna hasn't eaten and she offered to fry her up some omelets. And as she's grabbing the cheese and the eggs, Donna told her that she can't stand Nene Duncan, and she told her why. Then we see Vinny Dash trying to leave to go to the airport to catch his flight when his plans quickly changed. And at this point, he's a whole wimp to me, right? Like from now on, every time I see him, that's his name, old wimpy Vinny. Antonio pushes him around like he's his flunky. And we saw bits and pieces of this last season, but not to this extent. Like he's a wimp to me. Antonio is not your wife, sir. So he convinced Vinny to come and ride with him. And he went to look for Aries and Sagittarius, just like he told Dominique he would. Dominique... Never mind. Some things were just better left unsaid. But needless to say, they found Sagittarius and Aries safe and sound. So, old non-snitching Sonia, she finally started snitching, but she's snitching to the wrong person. She asked Nene if she thought that Kenny, her son, was responsible for LC being missing. She told Sonia to give her 48 hours before she spoke a word about Kenny having anything to do with LC being missing. And more people are ending up dead because she wants to keep quiet. I'm done with this character. I'm done with her. So Harris has made it over to the Duncans in his Inspector Gadget outfit, carrying that case that Elsie gave to him at the end of season 3. And Chippy opened the conversation with threatening him, telling him that if he didn't cooperate, that she was going to kill him. Period. Simple. So after this, of course, Harris had no choice but to comply. She told him to study the hard drive and the documents that were inside. And Harris, he couldn't do nothing but comply, like I said, and he's just somebody's flunky all day long. But he's a smart flunky. Then we made it to our final scene, you guys. And Larry got LC in a straitjacket. Him and Dr. Kennel got him doped up, heavily sedated, giving him all kinds of electroshock therapy rounds. And Larry is talking big-ish. I mean, big. And we see Larry done switched it up again. He's got the suit and tie on now. So he wants people to think that LC is him and that he's the director. All LC got to do is give Larry some money. That's all he wants. Now, in the last episode, he was willing to shell out $1.5 million just to get Larry to come home for the weekend. So just pay him off. Just pay him off, LC, so we can move on. What's so hard about that? It's a lot of blood being shed over Larry's money. So LC need to cut that check. That's it and that's all. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode, as I do a lot of the episodes. The plot, it continues to build and build. And this one was a bit more dramatic because I really wasn't expecting to see LC in a straitjacket and a wheelchair and then Larry taking over. That's very extreme because LC, he's the glue that holds everything together. Like, he's the leader, like he's the king of the show. And to see him so powerless like this, it was a big switch for me. So we can expect to see things getting crazier and crazier as the season progresses. So that concludes my review of Carl Weber's The Family Business Season 4, Episode number 7, Vengeance is Mine. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You know I'd appreciate it. And if you're a fan of Carl Weber's The Family Business, go ahead and sub to the channel because I break down videos just like this one all the time. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Ruthless TV, you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.